Well, yes, it's Tyson Fury, and I've decided to break away from my trainer, Ben Davison, trainer of the last year, Ben Davison, even though we've worked very well together. And I'm going back to Kronk Gym. The lineal champion is going back to Kronk. Manny Stewart isn't here anymore, but he told me I was going to be one of the greatest that ever did it. And so his legacy lives on in the form of Javon Sugar Hill. And that's where I'm going back to. Could somebody please tell me what the is going on? Yes. It's Boxing Talk with Rafi over here at Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio. Okay. Boxing Talk with Rafi. Let me do a sound check. Okay. Boxing Talk with Rafi. Let me do a sound check. Okay. That sounds okay. I don't know. I think I need to turn my levels up just a little bit. Just a little bit. Let me turn myself up in the cans. 1, 2. Yes. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. Loud and clear. Okay. So for those who have not been here before, yes, sound check, mic 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Loud and clear, says Cal L. Okay, so before I go any further, let me explain to people who've never been here before what Boxing Talk with Rafi is. Show where the Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio crew come together, and you, new visitors just like you, come together and we talk boxing talk and more. Touch in, sprinkle of MMA, if I can ever remember to do it. And it's interactive. I dropped the link in the chat. You can jump on in. Matter of fact, let me do that right now. Let me drop the link in the chat and kaboom. There it is. There it is. And while we allow the area to populate, what's that there? Adobe's trying to remind me something. Okay, but that can wait. So let's just touch into this video to warm on in. Let me share my screen. This is the warm up. Allow people to populate the area. When the video closes in a couple of minutes, we get into the roll call and we get into the topics. We're here for a good time, not a long time. Okay, let me share my screen. Let's share that. Let's get into the relevant window and off we go. We're looking at the breaking story of Tyson Fury and Ben Davison. Or Davis on. Okay, so story goes. The tweet from Ben Davison 3 hours ago reads, obviously, it's not going to stop until there's an answer. Tyson and myself had to both make decisions for our careers, which resulted in our working relationship coming to an end. Oh, shizzle, what happened? Hold on. Damn, click the button. However, we remain friends and he will smash the Dasa. I think he's referring to the Bronze Dasa. The Bronze Dasa from Alabama, US of A. None other than Deontay Wilder. Okay, some of the responses. Rocky Ali says, Wow, didn't expect this. Hopefully you can hear why, so we can have closure. It's a big surprise. Okay, what's going on here? What's going on here? This is a familiar name. Leighton Evelyn from Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio Response. Who stabbed you in the back then? And here we have Pat Roach, American trainer, Manny Pacquiao, and many more. Wrapping the hands of George St. Pierre, George St. Pierre of the UFC fame, one of the best welterweights in the hands UFC history. Okay, I didn't know that was there. I just came across that. A lot of good time and positives for both sides. Well done on playing your part in Tyson's comeback. And now we have to wonder who will be the replacement. Andy Jenner says that's a shame. But if anyone's replacing you, I hope it's Tyson. I hope it's Peter Fury filling his old role. I really don't know. I really don't know how that's going to play out. I mean, Peter Fury, when they split, it seemed like a family thing. Some kind of, this side isn't talking to that side no more. But I don't know. I don't know how it's going to go down, but it's not totally unexpected. As you'll recall my video from after the Fury Otto Wallin fight. John Fury, father of Tyson Fury, brother of Peter Fury, Tyson Fury's ex-trainer, his Uncle Peter. John came out with some very strong statements regarding Ben Davison. Let me have a look at this one here. This is a tweet. What's that? This 30 minutes ago. This is 30 minutes ago. Remember the first one was 3 hours ago. Okay. So this tweet 30 minutes ago from Ben Davison reads, seeing pictures like this means a lot more to me than any achievements inside them ropes. When I look at this picture, I do not see the man that was on the brink 2 years ago. That man is now unrecognizable to me, and it seems unrecognizable to his family. That says to me those dark days are behind him now. Shizzle. Those dark days are behind him now. That says to me that we succeeded. Not only in the ring, but we succeeded in life too. When almost everybody doubted and said it wasn't possible, he went back to back to being the number one heavyweight in the world. I don't know about that, but he is ranked number one by the Ring magazine. We've been through that unboxing talk with Rafi. Can't remember which episode, but check them out. We also found happiness, hope, and saved and inspires millions of lives along the way. Along the way. There's Tyson Fury and his little toddlers. The two big ones and the little toddlers, you can't see them. It's down there, down below. Okay, so Ben Davison and Tyson Fury. Ben Davison and Tyson Fury part ways. That's the long and the short of it. Okay, there we are. We got the whole family in there now. Got the whole family. They part ways. So who next? Who next will take the reins? Take the helm in Tyson Fury's camp? This is very close to this fight. The fight with Deontay Bronze Bomber Wilder. Tentatively scheduled for the 22nd of February. What's the date today? It's the 15th of December. So what's that? That's like, what, 8 weeks? 8 weeks away? 9 weeks away? 9 weeks away. And he's just split with his trainer. Parted ways. Clearly, they have, or Tyson Fury himself, have a plan. They already know who the next head trainer will be. Who could it be? Have your say. It's Raphael Dawkins. It's the Combat Radio. It's the like. It's the subscribe. It's the comments. It's the shares. And it is the hitting that bell icon to stay updated with news and notifications. Okay. Have your say. Don't forget the live show. Mondays and Wednesdays, 10 p.m. UK time. That's like 5 p.m. East Coast time. East Coast USA. That's something like, what's that? That's 2 p.m. Is that 2 p.m. on the West Coast? Yeah, it's 2 p.m. on the West Coast, 5 p.m. on the East Coast, and 10 p.m. here in the home of boxing, the UK. It's Raphael Dawkins. It's the Combat Radio. And I am out. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so that was the warming video. Let me get situated. Let me get the mics fixed up right. Okay, we're going in. We're going in. Where are we? Where are we? Let me drop the link back in the chat again before we commence with the roll call. As we commence with the roll call. Okay. Ignition procedure successful. Okay. Cal L in the building. Okay, where we at? Okay, the Bronze Bomber Wilder was named the boxer's representative and ambassador for peace. Oh, man, yeah, we're going to touch on that. Got the article up. We in here. Yes. Day in the building. Okay. I hope Ben didn't make a pass at Paris Fury. I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, she's had like about 5 kids by now. So generally me personally, when a woman tells me she has got 5, I think, it's kind of off bounds. I don't know. It's just off bounds. It's just, I don't even really want to go into it too much, but yeah, them kind of numbers is off bounds to my, just on an instinctive level. Okay, so where we at? Who was that? That was Cal L. That was AD. That was Joseph 56984. That's actually his PIN number. Okay, Tanaris Robinson, LDBC representative straight out of Meriden, Mississippi, in the building. Ruben Guerrero in the building. Mickey Dub. Anybody remember Mickey Duff, the promoter? The manager promoter. Was he a manager promoter? I think he was a manager promoter. Mickey Duff back in the Dizzy. Okay, Harrison versus Charlo. Who you got for this one? It's a tricky one. I don't know. My mic sounds funny. Uno momento. Let me just check. No, my mic sounds funny. Nah. That sounds fine. It's a tricky one. Harrison versus Charlo. Who am I going with? Damn, it's a knife edge. It's so close. I think I'm going to stick my neck out and say that Charlo boxes more this time. Because the last time his problem was he wasn't boxing enough. He was doing a Wilder, just looking for that one shot. It was like Wilder versus Ortiz, just looking for that one shot. But it wasn't even as calm as Wilder. So it was a poor man's version of Wilder last time out. He forgot to box. He abandoned the boxing. But this is boxing. And this is Boxing Talk with Rafi, where we talk boxing. Yeah, so Charlo abandoned the boxing. This time around, he can't do that. He's got to box while he's looking for the knockout. It's all well and good looking for the knockout, but you got to be doing something in the meantime, in between time. So this time, I think Charlo incorporates more boxing in his boxing while he's looking for the knockout instead of just looking for the knockout. You feel me? Got to score them points. Points make prizes. So he's got to box more if he wants to secure the victory, and I think he will box more. Okay, where we at? AD says Tanaris. LDBC are welcome. It's not like the LDBC We're only one-sided. Where only one-side opinions are welcome. We like both sides. Two sides to every story. Well said, ID. He knows the score. ID knows how it goes. ID knows how to run it. Brooklyn Child in the building. I see you, Brooklyn. I see you. Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio says, yes, LDBC foot soldiers and generals come in here. But only the foot soldiers show their faces. So the foot soldiers are braver than the generals. The generals just flap their gums. But we've had some incidences with the generals who are supposed to have been over here. Appointments have been made with your generals, Tanaris. Appointments have been made with your generals, and they've come up with all kind of nonsense stories why they weren't here. One of them said there was here and we ignored him, went through the chat, and then somebody on your side ratted him out, told us where he was. He wasn't here. He was over somewhere else. And he was in the chat over there. So the fat man got busted. The fat man with the lazy eye got busted. You know what I'm talking about. Resides over there in California. And the Chihuahua came yapping when they came a day or 2 or 3 days late and said they were here all the time. Yeah, you know the Chihuahua is. You know the Chihuahua is. One of my little homies got into it with the Chihuahua. The Chihuahua went to yapping. But it never comes over, went over yapping over that guy, over my little homie's channel. But it never comes over here. Shook. And the fat man with the lazy eye over there in Cali, he said he's not doing a live today. Not doing a live today after the Chihuahua. The Chihuahua took them all in last night. And all of a sudden, the fat one in Cali says he's not doing a live today. So I'll be back tomorrow. Shook. But don't be surprised if one of those generals turns up, because one day, surely one day, their balls will drop. Yeah? You have an expression over here in the UK. You know, when you hit maturity, your balls drop. But unfortunately, your generals haven't reached that stage yet, Tanaris. Your generals haven't reached that stage yet. But the foot soldiers are okay. Come on in. This is the place. This is where you come to chop it up. Yeah? This is where you come to chop it up. It's Boxing Talk with Rafi. Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio, episode 77, I believe. Let me just check. Is it 77? Yeah, 77. Okay, as we move through the chat, Brooklyn Child says, Fury's new trainer will lead him to getting knocked out cold. Really? Really? How do you reckon that? How do you reckon that? I think Roach might have done that. Flop squad. I think Roach might have done that. Roach might have got him knocked out cold. I think he dodged a bullet with Roach, but he knew that. He knew that himself. You couldn't go with Roach. Rendell Stevenson in the building. MB in the building. Tony Superbad Harrison by schooling. MB reckons Harrison's going to do it twice. Thinks Harrison's going to do it twice. Well, you know what? I had Harrison winning. A lot of people said it was a robbery last time around. But I didn't see no robbery. I saw Harrison doing his thing. I saw Harrison landing more than his opponent, Charlo. And is it impossible that he could do his thing again? No, it's not impossible at all. Is it likely that he could do his thing again? Yes, it is likely. And if he did this thing again, would I be mad? Absolutely not. This is after all boxing. But this time around, I think Charlo is gonna come in and box. He's gonna come in and box as well as looking for that finish. So I think he's gonna know that he's got to touch him up. He's got to touch that body. Got to touch that body. Be defensively minded. Also, it's gonna be a tough fight for both of them. It's gonna be a tough fight for both of them. I'm just speculating that if Charlo comes in with a boxing game plan, boxer puncher, doing the boxer puncher thing, he can secure the victory. Me, I don't have a dog in this race. I really don't have a dog in this race. So I will have the pleasure and luxury. It will be highly entertaining for me. I can just sit back, relax, and see who does what. I have no investment in this fight other than as a non-emotionally engaged observer. So that's going to be good. I look forward to that one. I can't wait for that Harrison and Charlo fight. I'm actually going to attend the fight. Good for you. Good for you. You know, maybe you should call in after. Let us know I was live. Okay, another one with Harrison. Seems like the majority of people are going with Harrison. That's good. That is good. Got a good split there. Yeah, AD got Harrison too. Yes, it's the fat one. It's the fat one. To this day, still ducking the agreed conversation that we're supposed to have. Debate, conversation, debate, call it what you will. Still ducking. And the little chihuahua, the angry chihuahua, still ducking. I think they're gonna, their balls, one of their balls are gonna have to drop one day. And they're just gonna show up and say, send me the link, Rafi. You asked for this, Rafi. Send me the link. Keep on thinking one of the days the balls are gonna drop and they're gonna actually show up at the appointed time, ready to do the thing. Okay, Brooklyn Child says, stop clout chasing, Rafi. Yo, clout chasing, a conversation is with one of your generals is clout chasing. I've talked to them cats multiples of times. How's that clout chasing? By talking to somebody who has a different opinion to you and you want to come sit around the table, have a nice discussion. How is that clout chasing? That's conversation, my good man. Conversation taken from the word conversare, the Latin word conversare. It's a mutual exchange of ideas and views. Yeah, that's what it is, my man. Conversare. But some people too shook to conversate. Too shook. You need to speak to your generals. Speak to your generals. Tell them that Rafi's a nice guy. Tell them that you spoke to Rafi before. And he's a splendid gentleman. No need to be shook to have a conversation. Link in the chat. It's easy. It's easy. It's so easy to do it, man. It's easy. Okay. AD smoking them out. AD smoking them out. Rafi choking them out. Smoking them out. Smoking them out. Choking them out. Oh, my. Okay, so let's get these last few comments in, and then we head for, and we start the thing. Yeah, no clout chasing, just conversating. No clout chasing, Brooklyn, just conversating. Yeah, it's good to talk, bro. It's good to talk. You know, talk to your generals. Send them over. Let me talk to them boys. Let me talk to them crazy ass boys. Okay, so last one before we go onto my topic sheet. Jermaine got the power in his punch like his brother, but it should be a good fight. Don't forget, you got the Jacobs versus Chavez on that bill too. Jacobs got that, I feel. Yes, I believe Jacobs takes that. Chavez is a strange little character, living off his papa's name. Living off Big Papa's name. Sometimes I feel is a little bit like Ruiz, his countryman Ruiz. Feels like he don't have to put the work in. Well, you know, if you don't put the work in, you don't get the results. You don't get the desired results. You get subpar results if you don't put the work in. You got to put that work in. Okay, so AD in the building, I believe. LDBC's nightmare. AD.
Yes, brother. What's good?
It's good, man. It's all good in the hood. It's all good over here. We're just cracking out these shows. Let me fix the angle. So good. Okay, AD has been kind enough to join. So we're gonna get straight into the topic sheet. And where do we hold on a second? Okay. Straight into the topic sheet. Let me close that window. Okay. Close that. Tidy up the area. And where are we now? Looking for the topic sheet. Yeah, I think we might as well start here. Maybe I should share. Perhaps I should share. Let me share this. Let me go ahead and share the screen. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so Divine Intervention is the title of the piece. And, okay, it's about Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder meets the Pope as the star. The star? As the boxer, let's say boxer, ramps up talk on fighting Anthony Joshua to become what he describes as the true heavyweight champion. Okay, so Deontay Wilder became just the third American heavyweight ever to have an audience with the Pope after meeting the pontiff on Friday. The WBC heavyweight champ met Pope Francis in Vatican City as he toured Rome. Okay, so Wilder was named the boxer's representative and ambassador for peace through sport and had many words of admiration for the leader of the Catholic Church. Accompanying a picture of himself meeting the Pope, the bronze bomber posted, "What an honor it was to meet the Pope Francis today. He's truly a remarkable man that represents true love, happiness, world peace for all the human race. He also enjoys pizza and is a huge boxing fan. And you know, he's a part of the Bomb Squad family, baby. Much love from me, Pope Francis, and I'm wishing you many, many blessings your way." After the meeting, Wilder fueled speculation of a potential unification bout with Anthony Joshua next year by claiming that he wanted to be the true heavyweight champion of the world. After his meeting with Pope Francis, Wilder said, "I want to thank him for meeting with me. I also want to thank the WBC for arranging the visit. and thank the Italian Boxing Federation for hosting me as I visited with the Pope in Italy. It has been one of the best experiences of my life and proves that I plan on being a true heavyweight champion of the world. Okay. So let's hold on a second. Let's stop the sharing on that. And yeah, let's go over. Let's share some views. On that. Where are we? Okay, AD, are you with me? I think you're currently muted at the moment. Yep.
Hello, can you hear me, Ralph? Yeah.
Yeah, man, I hear you. How you doing? So you heard the article. You heard the article on Deontay Wilder meeting the Pope. There are a lot of shuffling sounds there, AD. A lot of shuffling sounds there.
Yeah, sorry, mate. Good.
No problem. So you heard the article about Deontay Wilder meeting the Pope, and his conclusion was he's been appointed the ambassador for peace, the sports ambassador for peace. I don't know who appointed him or anointed him that, but that's what it is. Is the sports ambassador for peace, AD.
Well, I'm speechless. I mean, what can you say? I mean,
he's the same man who
He's
the same man who
he wants to catch a body.
Catch a body. He's the same guy who wants to catch a body. Has been anointed the ambassador for peace.
To be fair, he's got to be an ambassador for something apart from ducking. So, yeah, we'll let him have that one.
Let him have that one. The ambassador for peace. I don't know who gave him his nomination. I don't know who voted for him. It seems mighty peculiar. Must be a WBC thing. He says that this shows, his meeting with the Pope shows that he's serious about becoming the true heavyweight champion. How does that one work out?
Well, it shows to me he hasn't done his research in the Vatican, because that's one evil group of people right there. Like, I wouldn't want to be the face of the Vatican or the face of what they represent, because let's be fair, they're not right. They're not smelling the roses right about now, or any time for that matter of fact. Yeah, so I mean, look, if that's what he stands for and that's what he wants to represent, then that's up to him, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, it's very strange. It's all of a sudden out of the blue. Well, I was watching what True School Sports had up on a video with Best Fight the Best, claiming that Wilder is now more popular because the Pope has 1.2 billion
followers.
Oh, mate, it was a comedy. It was entertaining to see how he gets the series and how he concocts. It's crazy. I mean, the man is going, like, seriously, he's got mental health issues. That'd be an understatement. Like, he sits there winding himself up. Like, it's comical to watch. You got to give him 5 stars for effort.
Yeah, exactamundo.
5 stars for effort. That's it. But yeah, I mean, what can he say to this thing? I mean, to be fair, I don't think it's going to get anyone to buy pay-per-view. I don't think there's going to be Catholics queuing up to buy Wilder's pay-per-view after the news. But
well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I mean,
might benefit him.
First of all, where does the 1.2 billion followers come from? I haven't checked on Instagram. Somebody in the chat, check on the Pope's Instagram, if you don't mind. Somebody in the chat, check on the Pope's Instagram. I mean, I could do it. Right now. I could do it. As a matter of fact, let me multitask. I got a number of devices at my disposal. Let me multitask. I'm doing it right now, live on air. I'm going to search the Pope. I'm gonna search the Pope live on air. Do I just put Pope or the Pope? I'm going with the Pope. Going with the Pope. The Pope. The Pope. Yeah, just mute yourself in between talking there, please, AD. Thanks. Okay. Now, according to this, the Pope has how many followers? How many followers? It says 42K. Or is that posts or followers? I don't know. It doesn't say the amount of followers. It says the 42K posts. Has he got 42,000 posts? Really? Posts? Really? Is that possible? Does anyone have 42,000 posts? I don't know. It's either 42,000 followers or posts. I don't know. But it don't say 1.2 million anywhere. I don't see no 1.2 billion. So I don't know where he gets that number from. But 1.2 billion, no. I don't know about that. And how does Deontay Wilder meeting with the Pope? How does Deontay Wilder meeting with the Pope have any impression on PPV numbers? I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see how Deontay Wilder meeting with the Pope is going to have any impact on his PPV numbers. That's one. And two, I don't see how Deontay Wilder meeting with the Pope shows that he's serious about becoming undisputed champion of, or as he puts it, the true heavyweight champion of the world. I don't see it. I don't see that, AD. I do not see that. Okay, so where are we in the chat? You got anything to add on that, AD? You got anything to add on that before we move on? Mickey Dub says he needs all the help he can get.
Can you hear me now? Sorry, mate. I'm having a few technical difficulties. Not really, mate. It's definitely not going to. It's definitely not going to boost his pay-per-view numbers. I can't imagine. And like you said, how does it prove that he wants to become undisputed? Because he met the Pope. I mean, doesn't hold the other three belts. So, and it's got nothing to do with the other three belts or boxing as a whole. So, I mean, it doesn't actually prove that he wants to be undisputed champion. It proves that he wanted a holiday to Italy, and the WBC probably paid for it.
Yep, expense paid holiday to Italy. That seems like the most logical outcome to my. Mickey Dub says, and then he asked if he could. And in comes Big Boys Boxing. Big Boys Boxing. How you doing?
Not too bad. Hope you're all well, gentlemen.
Yes, indeed. My work schedule has changed up a little bit, and now I'm doing a couple of evenings. So that's hence why you may not see me for the foreseeable future of an evening. My schedule right now, it is crazy. But I still got the Mondays and Wednesdays. So you know, Boxing Talk with Rafi will still be here. Yeah, and then he would ask if he could make Bob Arum a saint. But anyway, Big Boys Boxing is here, so it only makes sense to. Have you heard about Deontay Wilder meeting the Pope? Big Boys Boxing.
Yep.
Yeah, he's met the Pope, and he said, to make the whole thing kind of more concise, he said that this proves that he wants to become the true heavyweight champion. We're kind of struggling. We don't know how that works. How does that work, Big Boys Boxing? Please help us. Give us some insight.
I can't help you there, man.
Damn.
Meeting the Pope is meeting the Pope. It's got nothing to do with boxing.
Damn. Well, that's what I thought. But Deontay Wilder clearly is looking at it from some other angle. He says that by meeting the Pope, it proves that he wants to become the true heavyweight champion. If anybody out there, anybody in the chat if anybody in the chat can help us out, because we're at a loss. There's three of us, and we can't make head nor tail of it. We can't figure out how this cat is reckoning that by meeting the Pope, it shows he wants to be the true heavyweight champion. It don't make no sense to me. Big boys boxing makes no sense.
I heard a few people saying the Pope is now Bomb Squad. It's like, I don't think so. I think Bomb Squad is more Catholic now. That's about all.
Bomb Squad has become Catholic. Deontay Wilder claimed that he was a Rastafarian.
Pope Squad.
Pope Squad, but he's now changed Bomb Squad to Pope Squad. Seems like a crazy notion. Can't make head nor tail of it, and as a consequence, we shall move on.
Thank God.
With a sip of my carrot juice to punctuate the moment. Okay, so let me get through these next few comments, and then we go on to the next topic on my topic sheet. Okay. And then Eddie Hearn said he could arrange that for 20 million. Yes, money talks. The Vatican is unholy. Well, there's a lot of unholy things going down in the Vatican. I mean, personally, if you study, I don't really watch the news anymore, but if you have any inkling towards, following certain trends, certain issues, I think most people at some point, most adults at some point in their life have actually looked at the Vatican, what it stands for, what it represents, the history of the Vatican. And I'm sorry, but the Vatican has been very much shook in recent times. There's whole loads of abuse issues, which it has been shown as being covered up, primarily with the priests and young boys, choir boys being among them. I'm not going to go too deep into it, but I'm sure most adult people here are familiar and aware that there have been multiple lawsuits leveled at the Vatican, and I'm sure, correct me if I'm wrong, that they've had to pay out multiples of millions to abuse victims of priests who were not disbarred from the priesthood, but were simply moved along somewhere else so that their catalog of crimes against primarily young boys, children, could continue. So for anyone to try and uphold that, or anyone try and associate with that, I don't know. Obviously, not every Catholic priest is a bad person, but unfortunately, the Vatican have a proven track record of supporting bad priests who were harming young children. I think that's known. Are you aware of that story? All those stories, big boys?
Oh, definitely. I've been doing a bit more research about the historical origins of the Catholic Church and how religion all came about. I mean, all through history, it's not only the little boy fiddling. There's a whole lot of stuff that can be attributed to not just the Catholic Church, the whole idea of religion itself. So, if you want to align yourself with that sort of thing, that's fine. That's your choice.
Yeah. It's astonishing to me that Deontay Wilder, I presume, doesn't know about this kind of thing. Eddie and I have touched on that topic a little bit already, but it's astonishing to me. And it's astonishing that the yapping Chihuahua is fully supporting this meeting and almost bigging up the Pope. So it seems like the Chihuahua, as well as the Bronze Bomber, don't seem to have an inkling of some of the activities that have been hidden and thus thereby supported by the Vatican. Some behaviors which most like-minded people find totally and wholly intolerable.
I think on the face of it, it's all about just publicity. Everybody knows who the Pope is.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I don't think anybody's got a problem with that, but it's I think the problem comes in where he tries to allege that this offers him any kind of legitimacy, more legitimacy than he actually possesses. He's the WBC heavyweight champion who has never unified, never had a unification bout. Only beat one champion, and that was the Stavern, who got his championship in a vacancy fight. So the only champion he's ever beat was Stavern, the one fight champion. Okay, so what's going on there? Okay, all right. So let's get through these comments. What's up with this cat's name? If you don't like the LDBC, don't watch the channels, fam. Well, I mean, you know, people can watch whatever they want to watch. You know what I'm saying? People can watch whatever they want to watch. Brooklyn Child. You know, I mean, I think, you know, you go to a channel and you have a watch, and if you voice an opinion which varies even 1% from the host, the host tries to cuss you out, tries to curse you out, and block you for having an opinion which doesn't sit firmly square with the host's opinion. That's kind of crazy, man. And you can't blame people for having something to say about that, because that's quite frankly ridiculous. I think this means there are 1.2 billion Catholics in the world. It could very well mean that. Damn, bro, you love some Deontay Wilder. Well, when have you ever, Brooklyn Child, when have you ever heard me say that I was a fan of Deontay Wilder? You know, this is a boxing show. So we talk about boxers, you know, and right about now, Deontay Wilder is in the mix at the top of the division. So how would I not talk about him? Just because I talk about a particular boxer, it doesn't mean that I'm a fan. Just because I talk about a particular film doesn't mean that I like the film. But if I had a film show and I was talking about films, then would I only talk about films which I enjoyed and liked? No, of course not. That's ludicrous. This is a boxing channel, so we talk boxing, bro. And last time I checked, Deontay Wilder was a boxer. Is he not? He possesses a belt. Does he not? He's never unified. Has he? 6.3 million followers on Instagram. It looks like 6.3 million million followers on Instagram. So he has 6.3 million followers on Instagram. Yes. Excellent. Good work. What's not true? Okay, we're coming to the end of these comments. We're going to go into my next topic. The mafia comes out of the Vatican. So does the greatest story ever told. Okay. I think I know what you're alluding to. Okay. And so smash that like button. If you're new to the channel and you're enjoying the show and the videos, for sure, smash that subscribe button. And where are we?
What's the greatest story ever told out of the Vatican? You have an idea?
The great, I think it's the biblical story. I think that is what he's alluding to. The story of the three wise men, the manger.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It was a story.
Well, you know.
Done my research on that too.
But you do appreciate people's right to believe that it's more than a story. Big Boys Boxing. It's a question.
Oh, I can appreciate people believing in fairy tales for sure.
Big Boys Boxing. You could have a devoutly religious man or woman in the chat right now, and they could be being crushed by your feeling, your thought that the greatest story ever told is nothing but a mere story. That could be crushing.
There's plenty of information out there proving so.
Damn. Big Boys Boxing taking no prisoners whatsoever. He's just bringing it. He's just bringing it. Yeah, Justin. Not tonight, Justin. Not tonight, Justin. Thanks for coming. Drop your comments in the comment section, Justin. Drop your comments in the comment section, Justin. I think maybe, you know, it's a kind of adult thing on the panel. It's an adult thing on the panel. If it was a call-in show, then for sure that would be cool. You could just call in. You get your 1.5 minutes. You could say whatever you want to say. But is this as the panel? I think it's kind of an adult thing. That's my feeling. I haven't watched the last episode you were on yet, but I will do, and I'll come to a decision, a policy decision. But right about now, my instincts tell me that the panel is an adult thing. But by all means, please feel free to drop your comments in the comment section. Yeah, Justin. So that's my position on that, Justin. Hold on, I got some private chats here. No, dude, just discuss. I have my parents. Yeah, I understand you have your parents' permission. What I'm saying over here on Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio, my instincts and my intuition tell me that it's best that I just keep the panel as an adult thing. I haven't watched the last episode you were on yet, but I don't know. I got the feeling that I should keep it as an adult thing. But by all means, Justin, leave your comments in the comment section. I'm gonna go and watch the last episode you were on back and come to a firm decision on that. But right about now, on an instinctive level, I think I'm keeping the panel as an adult thing. But you're more than welcome. Justin got his mask on. You're more than welcome to leave your comments in the comment section. But for the panel, right about now, I'm keeping adult. Okay, Justin? Just it's an age thing. It's an age thing. But don't worry. Leave your comments in the comment section. It's all good. It's all good. I'll review the policy over the next week or so. I'm just talking to Justin, who is backstage waiting to get on, but I've just explained what's the haps, what's the situation. Okay, so we are going into the story. Let me get the oh, that's not what I want. Let me go into the right page. Okay, yes, here it is. Let me share this. I've got too many windows open. Let me share this. Share screen. Boom, boom, and boom. There we are. There we are. Okay, so we're talking about Tyson Fury. We're talking about Tyson Fury, who has parted ways with trainer Ben Davison and Tyson Fury's announcement. So let me try and get, Tyson Fury, right. Getting the old team back up and running. Declared Tyson Fury through his verified social media accounts on Sunday. Today's Monday. Sugar Hill Stewart, Andy Lee, Kronk boys back in town. Let the games begin. Those were Tyson Fury's words regarding his splitting from Ben Davison. News of the switch of head coaches came on the heels of a story reported by Keith Idek, revealing overnight the breaking news that England's Fury was parting ways with Ben Davison, who joined the heavyweights team just 1 year ago. The two worked on 3 fights. What was that? That was a 12-round draw versus Deontay Wilder. And who else? Schwartz and Wallin being the third one. What else does the article say of pertinence? Yeah, the split comes on the heels. Let me highlight this. The split comes on the heels of a planned rematch between the unbeaten heavyweights, both of them unbeaten. Fury and Wilder. Obviously, it's not going to stop until they get an answer, says Davison. Matter of fact, I won't even go into that. That was a warm-in video. That was a warm-in video featuring the words of Ben Davison. Okay, where are we? Okay, so Fury's alignment with Stewart draws shades of his venture to the US more than 9 years ago, when the 21-year-old version of Fury took in training sessions at the Kronk Gym at the time under Emmanuel Stewart, the late, great Emmanuel Stewart, Hall of Famer trainer, whose list of clients include, at the time, then unbeaten middleweight Andy Lee, Fury's cousin, who went on to capture a middleweight title. Of course, Stewart passed away in 2012. 2012, damn, so long ago. Don't seem so long ago. Leaving his disciples to carry on his legacy. Included among that group is his nephew, Sugar Hill Stewart, who took over the responsibilities for a number of fighters from the famed gym. The most notable of the lot was Adonis Stevenson, who captured the World Light Heavyweight Championship in June 2013, dedicating the win and the balance of his career to the late and legendary trainer, Emmanuel Stewart. So there we go. The involvement of others mentioned by Fury on social media, including whatever role, if any, will be played by Andy Lee, remain unclear. Representatives for Fury did not respond to inquiries from Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio, comment or clarify as this goes to publishing. Okay, so that is the story. That is the story right there of Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury parting ways with Ben Davison. AD, you want to comment on that, bro? You are currently muted. Okay, yeah, you're unmuted now. So AD, share your thoughts. Yeah, I can hear you, AD. I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah, I think it's probably a good. Yeah, I'm feeling that move by Fury, you know, Raf. I think
Yeah.
I think Ben, yeah, can you hear me? Yeah, I think it's a good move by Fury. I think Ben took him out of a dark time of his life. But he's a young coach, he's inexperienced.
AD, you still talking?
AD. Back in like that. So I'm a big man. Yeah, can you hear me?
Roll of the die. Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah,
Hello?
You cut out for a second, but I can hear you now. Yeah, you're saying, yeah. You can't hear me though. Is that what's happening? You can't hear me? Is that what it is? I can hear you, but you can't hear me. Okay, so we're gonna go over to Big Boys Boxing. What do you make? What is there to make of this? Big Boys Boxing.
Well, I guess the biggest question is why. You know, I know Ben Davison's not too keen on being based in America by the sounds of things. Tyson's basing himself over there at the moment, so that could be a contributing factor. I'm a little bit curious about the timing too. If he was going to change trainer, why wait until now? Why not do it straight after the Otto Wallen fight or closer to after the Otto Wallen fight, so he's had more time with Sugar Hill?
Yeah.
But I do think Sugar Hill has extensive knowledge of Tyson Fury anyway. As you stated earlier, he's been associated with him for a long time. So he knows all about Tyson and what he could possibly get out of him in his mind anyway. But yeah, leaving it so late leaves a little bit to wonder about. Is it a good move or not? I'm not so sure. We're going to find out in February, though, aren't we?
Yeah.
So interesting to say the very least.
Yeah. February. That's the scheduled date. They've left it rather late. As Big Boys Boxing says, why not switch trainer earlier, or had they already switched trainers without giving out the information? Are they already? Say that again?
They may have.
Yeah. They may have switched trainers. Well, it wasn't overnight, obviously, clearly. So obviously, some arrangements had been arrived at. We don't know the time frame, but clearly, this isn't something that happened overnight. Clearly, there had been some planning. Clearly, on at least on Tyson Fury's side, we know that his father came out with a scathing rant against Ben Davison, Fury's now former trainer. Scathing rant after the Otto Wallin fight. A laundry list of complaints about Davidson in that role. One of which that Fury coming too light to be at optimal effectiveness, cut weight too fast, wasn't using the correct strategy, wasn't using the correct boxing strategy, fighting strategy in the ring. It was a laundry list of complaints, but with Tyson Fury being good mates with Ben Davison, we thought that would blow over. Most of us thought that would blow over. That wouldn't be too much of a big thing, but apparently not. Here we see Tyson Fury with Emmanuel Stewart. Well, I see it. You'll see it in a few seconds. And when it goes live, it'll be immediate. It's the time delay during recording. It gets synced up later. That's why there's a time period after the live shows, the long live shows finish where you can't see it. That's because it's being synced up in YouTube's back room. But here we see Tyson Fury, Emmanuel Stewart. This is went back when he was 21 over at the Kronk Gym, or he could be a little bit older because he returned to be a sparring partner for Vladimir Klitschko later on. So, yeah, he certainly knows the gym, and clearly he formed a relationship with Sugar Hill, Janvier Sugar Hill, and clearly he feels comfortable with Sugar Hill, comfortable working with Sugar Hill, and so the decision has been made. You have to wonder, you have to think that John Fury played a part in all of that. He was the one who came out first and said, hey, things have got to change. There you see Emmanuel Stewart with Lennox Lewis back in the dizzy. So, yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting to see how this thing plays out. The strategy change of trainer before the fight with Deontay Wilder. So I don't know. It's going to be very interesting. What's your gut instinct on this, Big Boys Boxing? What's your gut instinct on this?
Yeah, well, I do think John Fury probably has something to do with it, but I didn't like the fact that he, stomped his feet, threw a tantrum about the preparation for the Wallen fight. Basically, for me, that's John Fury trying to blame what most would call a lackluster performance from Fury on the lead up to the fight in camp. No mention of credit to Otto Wallen for being a lot better than what everybody thought he was going to be. I think that played a big part in Tyson Fury not looking so good in that fight. But the Kronk Gym apparently doesn't exist anymore. There's no Kronk Gym anymore. But the boys are getting back together who used to be in the Kronk Gym. So
right.
Interesting. I know Charles Martin's trained by Sugar Hill at the moment. I don't know how effective sparring would be for Tyson to prepare for Deontay Wilder. 6'5" southpaw is nothing like Deontay Wilder, but I'm sure there'd be some good work that they could get in there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who else is in that bunch at the moment, but Tyson will be definitely getting in some sparring partners that can mimic some of what Deontay Wilder does. But the key, as per usual, like anyone who fights Deontay Wilder, is don't get hit. So I wouldn't be surprised if Ben Davison does pop his nose in every now and then. He's a well-renowned as a defensive coach. And not getting hit is the biggest thing against Wilder. So his input could be still beneficial. Whether Sugar Hill's willing to work with Ben Davison at all or what, I don't know. But eventually it's going to come out why this decision was made, and I'm very curious as to why.
Yes. Very, very curious. Okay, so I got somebody waiting backstage. Tyrone, type something in the chat. And also the link, I've just put the link in the chat again, just in case someone was asking for it. So Tyrone, type something in the main chat right here. Type something in the main YouTube chat. You can see the YouTube chat, yeah? Type something in there, Tyrone. Where are we? Yeah, it's me, you, Tyrone. Waiting for Tyrone to type something in the chat. Okay, I'll give my take on it, my spin on it. I think my take on it is that hold on, Tyrone's on my mind now. Tyrone's on my mind. Let me go to Tyrone, because I'm wondering who this Tyrone is. Tyrone.
What's going on? Hey, all right.
Cheeky little toad.
Hey.
Hey, Tyrone. You think you're funny. That's why I told you to type something in the chat so I'd find out who you really were. Justin, like I told you, you cheeky little lad. This is an adult panel. You got some knowledge, etc., but I'm just not sure about the switch of format from the adults and the kid. I'm just not sure about it. But damn, where are my damn manners? We got James in the building. James.
Is it working?
Yeah, man, it's working good, bro. It's working good. How are you today?
Very good.
The kid got me confused. I almost forgot that you was on.
It's all right.
Tyrone, Gold, and the different names. But anyway, James, how are you, and what are your views on the topic at hand?
I'm very good personally, and I'm glad to see the change because he looked awful last fight, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not his best at all.
No.
And we haven't really seen much of him at all, really, under Ben Davison. As much as anything, we've only seen him fight Wilder, and we've only ever seen a few other people. So we haven't seen. And was Tyson Fury his best against Wilder? Probably not. So if we can get it back to when he fought Klitschko, he's better prepared for when he fights Wilder next.
Yeah. I think that the Ben Davison thing, I think they got cold feet.
And also, it wasn't Ben Davison brought in to do his like cardio and stuff like that and lose weight. So now he's lost the weight. Maybe he's thought, you know what, this guy probably can't take me any further. Let's get a real boxing coach in, someone that's been doing it for years, and let's see what he does. Sounds
harsh and brutal, but I think that is pretty much damn near close to the truth. I think, he got him in there as an experiment. He lost the weight, fought Wilder, fought Schwartz, then Wallin. And I think the prevailing thought now in the Tyson camp, because even his brother Shane said they're going to have a summit at the end of, after the Wallin fight, said they're going to have a family summit where everybody puts their ideas in, puts their notions in of ways to move forward. And he said, obviously, Tyson will have the final veto on what decisions are to be made, what changes are to be made. They said Tyson would have the final veto, but everybody will put their opinion in. And so it seems like the consensus opinion may have been that it's time you're going in there with the bronze bomber again, and time is overdue to get what I guess some of them might have been saying would be a more established coach, coach with a bigger track record. And to be quite fair, I can understand. I'm not upset at the decision. I'm sure that Ben Davison has been handsomely rewarded for his time with Tyson. That's 3 fights. Must be walking away with a nice little package, little compensation package. Those 3 fights they had, I guess they were on a fight-by-fight basis. And Ben Davison leaves with, he leaves with some accolades. His work with the lineal champ, the so-called lineal champ. I don't think he's harmed his standing. I don't think he's harmed his standing in professional boxing, being a professional boxing trainer. I don't think he's harmed his standing. So, and Tyson Fury, as he does, he's a traveler. He moves on from place to place, from coach to coach. I don't expect him to be with Sugar Hill for any extended period of time. I think he'll do what he does and he'll move on. And I'm not mad at the idea. I'm not mad at the notion moving from professor to professor, as Lennox Lewis would say, gathering information, knowledge, experience from different camps. To be honest, I'm quite in favor of it. Don't know if I'm in favor of it the way the Tyson Fury does. It seems a bit chopping and changey, but I am in favor of learning from different people. Big boys.
I'm actually surprised Freddie Roach didn't get the nod, since they had a close working relationship for the last Wilder fight, and he seemed to have the more aggressive input that seemed to be lacking. So I thought maybe he might have got the nod. But for me, Sugar Hill was a bit out of the blue, but
yeah,
they've got that history and they've had it for some years. So why not give it a go? And I'm down for a fighter having input from different coaches all through their career, but chopping and changing not too long before a fight for me isn't such a great idea. You should do at least one full camp before a big fight with a coach. And I mean, we've got Christmas on the way and then 8 weeks until the fight. So yeah, it's pushing it, but hopefully we'll get some decent results out of it and see what happens.
So you thought he would go? You thought your first pick for him for Tyson Fury when you heard there had been a cultural trainer was Freddie Roach?
Yeah.
Okay. James. Who were you thinking? Who was at the forefront of your mind when you heard Tyson Fury had a change of head trainer? Who was your first pick?
I have no idea. Maybe go back John Fury's, maybe, but who knows?
Peter.
Yeah, it was a Peter Fiast. Sorry, a bit mixed up, but
that's all right.
I better go back to him, but don't know.
Okay.
If you keep close tabs on Billy Joe Saunders, they usually have the same trainer. So
yeah.
One might give it away before the other.
Yeah. What was you going to say, Big Boys?
I also thought I might have thought about Dominic Ingles, but he likes to do most of his training in the UK, and with Tyson being based in the US, didn't really make a lot of sense. So, and also with Peter Fury, it's all fine and dandy having Peter as your coach as long as you're fighting in the UK or in Europe, because he can't get into a lot of other countries around the world. Can't get into the States. Can't get into many. So that's a big problem.
Yeah, it's a big problem. Serious problem. He can't travel. I'm surprised he was able to get over to Germany. Him and John. Was Johnny there? Was John there? Was Johnny in Germany? No, I don't think he was. I'm not sure.
No, he wasn't either. No,
he wasn't. No, John wasn't there. I wouldn't let him travel because of his conviction, which I'm sure most will know of already. Yeah, I thought he would go with. I thought he might go with Brendan Ingle, the Ingle gym. But then, as you say, He likes to, not Brendan Ingle, it's his son Dominic. Dominic Ingle. But as you say, he likes to be based in the UK. He's got a busy gym, very active gym. And so, yeah. So he was out, I guess. But I did think he'd go follow Billy Joe over to Dominic Ingles, but that was not the case. That was not to be. Clearly, he wanted some of that crunk experience back, that crunk spirit, even though the gym apparently doesn't exist anymore. Though it doesn't exist anymore, the personnel still exist. The living personnel, and he's gone with Sugar Hill. I didn't think Roach, ringside reporter Beeb is in the building. I didn't think Roach, because I remember hearing some of Roach's advice, and Roach was very much on the aggressive side. And I don't know if Tyson Fury is comfortable with that kind of mentality. I don't know if I don't know if Tyson Fury is comfortable with that type of mentality, although he could say, well, yeah, Roach could be the yin for Tyson's yang. Yeah, I understand that. But I thought perhaps Roach might be a bit too aggressive for Tyson.
Particularly for the Wilder fight anyway.
Yeah. You know, you make a wrong move against that guy, and despite some of his technical flaws, despite some lack of what people might say is a lack of boxing acumen, you know, that kid there, Wilder, he can bang. He can bang. Okay, so James, final words on this topic.
Yeah, I just want to throw a name out there, but Teddy Atlas. I don't know if he does any more, if he trains anyone anymore, but
yeah, he still does a bit.
He could be pretty good.
He still does a bit.
He has his podcast. He was talks quite highly of
Tyson Fury.
So yeah, just had a burp there for a second. Tyson. So you know, maybe that could happen. And obviously, Teddy Atlas got one of the best pedigrees and boxing trainers possibly could be.
Teddy Atlas. I do have some views on Teddy Atlas. And I think that I don't think he's the type of trainer that Tyson Fury would like, and I will expand on that. It was a few years ago, a year and a half, 2 years ago. I was listening to the Joe Rogan podcast. Was it 2 years ago? Was it 2.5? Was it 3?
About that, yeah.
Relatively recently, anyway. Last few years, when who was it? Shannon Briggs. Shannon Briggs was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and it was interesting to me that Shannon Briggs was not complimentary of Teddy Atlas. He pretty much, I'm paraphrasing. I'm not even phrasing at all. I'm just giving you the overall view from the words of Shannon Briggs that I was left with. He said that Teddy Atlas wasn't really an uplifting type of guy. I am paraphrasing now. Wasn't really an uplifting type of guy. He said the impression I got was that Teddy Atlas was kind of a remote type of figure, kind of emotionally remote, and was prone to be somewhat disparaging. So what I take from that is that Teddy Atlas perhaps isn't the type of guy to uplift the guy. Perhaps he's more along the Peter Fury, the old school Peter Fury school. It just tells you what to do. Crack on with it. If you don't crack on with it, then there's something wrong with you. Not really the type to, get involved with his charge in a kind of emotionally compassionate way. More like an old school headmaster. You just go to the headmaster's office to get the strap or the cane or whatever, the slip or whatever it was in your day. Yeah. And I think Tyson Fury favors a trainer that he can interact with. he can talk to. I don't know if you get what I'm saying, James.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but maybe that's what Tyson needs. That kind of character in there.
Yeah, that's a good point. Big boys boxing. I find Teddy Atlas, even though I've never met either party, the impression I get is that Teddy Atlas is a bit too similar for Peter Fury for Tyson's liking.
Yeah, he's not exactly the best motivational kind of coach on the planet. That's for sure. And he's not really a heavyweight coach either. So I guess there are boxers out there that he has trained that move well, like Tyson.
Yeah.
There is a contrast there, but I think Teddy should stick mainly to his commentating these days. He's more entertaining there than he is as a boxing trainer for me.
Yeah. I concur. Something about Teddy Atlas I'm just not sold on. Okay, so we've wrapped that section up, and now we're looking at, where is that there? Let me move that over there, and let me look for what I am looking for. There he is. Boom. First time out. Let me move this. Let me keep this thing organized, keep my windows nice and tidy as we move on into our next topic. Let me share the screen. Boom, boom. Okay. Well, actually, do I do that? Or do I do this? Or do I do that? I do that. Okay. So, Loma, not impressed with Lopez. As you know, we changed the subject, talking about Teofimo Lopez. Okay, Loma not impressed with Lopez. New York. In New York. Vasily Lomachenko might have been the least impressed person inside Madison Square Garden on Saturday night. The 3-division champion commended Teofimo Lopez for winning a lightweight world title. Lomachenko also acknowledged Lopez's power, which was on full display during his second round demolition of Richard Comey. Other than that, Lomachenko wasn't wowed by what Lopez accomplished in what was supposed to be the most difficult fight of the brash Brooklynites' career, 3-year pro career thus far. I'm not impressed because it was just a couple of rounds. I don't understand who else he fought. Lomachenko told a group of reporters. He has the power, of course, but he has power, and he's a smart fighter, but it depends on his opponents. Lomachenko didn't mention Comey, yet he seemingly implied that he still doesn't think much of any of Lome's conquests. Nevertheless, the 22-year-old Lopez became a world champion in just his 15th professional fight by taking the IBF lightweight championship from Comey. So I'm going to scroll down now and see if I can find the pertinent quote. We want to unify. The 31-year-old Lomachenko confirmed that he expects to face Lopez next and said, yes, of course. We want to unify all 4 titles. Now he's a world champion, and now he's interesting for me because he has a title. He's very self-confident. Maybe Lomachenko said, maybe April. See you in April. Okay, those were the words of Vasily Lomachenko with regards to Teofimo Lopez's victory over Richard Comey for the IBF lightweight championship belt in Madison Square Garden. Took place Saturday just gone. Big Boys Boxing. Did you see the fight?
I did. I was surprised.
I was
I
surprised.
didn't think it'd be that short.
Nope.
But Lomachenko is saying he's not impressed by that. Man, what's going to impress him then? Because that was impressive, man.
Impressive.
I don't know. He's just talking him down, doing the publicity thing, the marketing. But if he talks him down like he does and he doesn't get rid of him in under 6, then he's basically contradicted his own comments.
Yeah.
So he's digging a hole. Let's hope he doesn't jump in it.
Yeah, he's digging a hole. I was not impressed. I was not impressed by the power. The punch itself. That was an interesting punch because it was kind of like a hook. They both threw the same punch at the same time. There was only one main difference. The one main difference is that Teofimo kind of moved his head off the center line. As I said in the video at the time, moved his head off the center line. And so he was right in line to get clipped, to get punched square. But he had the sense to move his head off the center line. And the difference was that Richard Comey, who threw the same punch at the same time, did not. And as a consequence of which, he got rocked, staggered backwards, staggered forwards. He was on Bambi legs. And I think it was shortly thereafter when he got totally dispatched. Going over to James for a second. James, did you see that fight?
Nah, I didn't see it.
Okay. You've not seen the highlights yet?
Nah.
Okay. It's only 2 rounds. It's worth your while. It's worth watching. It was a good little scrap, good little tear up, quick out. It was nice. Big Boys Boxing, that finishing punch.
Yeah, it was beautifully timed. He set it up nicely, like you said. Just as he went to throw it, he moved his head off center, so Comey's punch missed him, while his one went straight down the pipe. It was a hook, but because he leaned over, moved that head sideways, it went straight down the middle, and Comey was gone, man. He was gone. Credit to him for getting up, but the referee probably should have stopped it after he got up off his knee, stumbled, fell down, wiggled around on his side like he had no balance. For me, that was the end of the fight right there. But, it was what it was. Just a spectacular performance from Teofimo Lopez. And I think he could cause some serious problems for Lomachenko. I hope he's not underestimating him when he gets in that ring, because he has real power at 135 pounds. He's just proven that against the guy who's got a pretty good chin, who can box, and he knocked him out in 2 rounds. So
knocked him out in 2 rounds. It's interesting now. It's very interesting now because you wonder to yourself, what if Teofimo? I always feel like there should be an L in that. I always feel like it should be Teofimo. But anyway, Teofimo. What if Teofimo missed that punch? What if they both missed? I wondered to myself, could it have been a much, much different fight? When a fight ends so early, you always have that niggling thought in your mind. What if that punch missed? Is he that sharp that he'd have caught him again later on in the round or early in the next round?
I just watched the highlights just then.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty good.
Pretty good indeed. And so I'm thinking that Lomachenko might be thinking the same thing. What if that punch missed? We'll never know. But Lomachenko, I think he's full of confidence that he can work around Teofimo. Use the angles on him. Because the thing with Comey is just a straightforward guy. So straightforward that when he throws a hook like that, he doesn't move his head off the center line. He's like, how could I? What's a parallel? What's a parallel to Richard Comey's style? Yeah, he's just a straightforward power guy. Whereas what we saw with Teofimo, was someone who was, even in attack, he still had a mind to his defense. That's why he moved his head. So one of them is a straight up attacker, whilst the other proved himself to be defensively minded, even whilst attacking. Big Boys Boxing.
Yeah, well, for me, Comey can box a bit. I don't think he's just a straightforward power puncher, but Teofimo just had his number for me. He worked him out early and set him up for that punch, and not much more to it. I thought Comey probably didn't respect Teofimo's power enough. He didn't move it enough, didn't move his head, and he paid the price for it.
Yeah.
But a little bit more lateral movement could have caused a little bit more problems, but I still think even if that punch missed, it would have happened later on in the fight anyway.
Right.
The longer the fight went on, the less of a chance Comey had for me, being that much older. So I think a lot has to be said about Teofimo's preparation too. He had a really good camp, whereas his last fight he didn't look so great, but he had a lot of personal issues going on. So he was fully concentrated on what he needed to do, and he got the job done. And contrary to what Lomachenko says, I think it was done in spectacular fashion.
Yes. What does Rendell Stevenson say here? Rendell Stevenson says just 2 of the top 4 heavyweights in the world twice. Always talking about Wilder. Tanoris Robinson is talking about Wilder. He's saying that Wilder has beat 2 of the top 4 heavyweights in the world twice.
That's terrible.
What?
Top 4.
Tanaris. I don't know if you're joking or not, bro, but you gotta laugh out of us, Tanaris. You gotta laugh out of us. Luis Ortiz, are you putting Luis Ortiz in the top 4?
Based on what?
Based on what? I hope that's not copyrighted.
Beating Bryant Jennings.
Yeah.
Who also Oscar Rivas has done. So does that make him top 4? Prior to losing to Dillian White?
Joe Joyce pretty
exactly.
Well, does that make him top 4?
Yeah.
So Joyce must be top 2 then. I don't know if Oscar Rivas if
you got Rivas up in 3.
Yeah, if you got Rivas up in 3, and you got Joyce up in 2. Damn, that squeezes out Joshua. Or who you got? You got Wilder's 1, no doubt. Damn, so Joshua's out, Fury's out, Dillian White's out. Come on.
Actually, Joe Joyce has got to be number 2 in the world because he's also beaten Bermain Stavern.
Damn. He should be. So on that basis, Joe Joyce should be considered in the consideration in the talks of pound for pound.
Oh no, he's the champ.
Joe Joyce deserves to be in the pound for pound talks. Is that what you're saying, Tanaris Robinson? Is that what you're saying, bro? Come on, bro. Come on now. I know you're LDBC, but come on, you're over here. You don't have to follow the party line. You can talk as yourself. You can use logic. Logic is allowed over here, bro. Logic is allowed.
You're watching too much the other guy, isn't it? That BFTB guy.
You've been watching too much. You've been watching too much of the Mad Chihuahua. You've been watching too much of the Mad Chihuahua. Okay, so I think we've wrapped up that. Let us go over to my views are great win by Lopez. I didn't expect him. I didn't expect the fight to go like that. Thought it'd be a war, back and forth war, where one man would emerge victorious, and the other man would emerge beaten and bloody. But it wasn't like that. It was just a dismantling in the second round. The second round dismantling. That's what I saw. Looking forward to Teofimo Lopez versus Vasily Lomachenko. Let's hope that Vasily Lomachenko was right. He said April. That goes down in April. Then, damn, I am looking forward to that encounter. Any final words from either guys on that fight?
I'd like to see it then. I wouldn't mind it if it waited a little bit longer and the WBC made Teofimo Lopez the other challenger for the WBC belt that's up for grabs against Luke Campbell.
Yeah. That'd be even better. Well, you're saying give Teofimo Lopez time to mature a little bit. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, before he gets in with Lopez, and I think fighting Luke Campbell's a very good interim fight. I think it's still a better fight than Richard Comey.
Yeah.
So I think by far Loma's still the best at 135.
Yeah.
And I think it would serve Teofimo best to get a little bit more experience before he gets in there with Loma.
I agree. I totally agree. A similar situation with Haney. I think both of these guys could do. They feel ready. They're full of gusto. They're gung-ho. But I think it would serve them well to get a little bit more seasoning. A little bit more marination on that for their own good.
Yep.
James, you got any thoughts on that?
Yeah, Devin Haney next, then Lomachenko, but who knows? I'm happy with whatever, I usually just watch Lomachenko because I think he's a half-decent fighter, to be honest.
Yeah. I think that's a fair assessment.
When it goes to the lightweights, I pretty much only watch him. So
Yeah. I hear that.
You guys are aware that Devin Haney doesn't hold that belt anymore, eh?
Oh, yeah.
WBC.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that, mate.
He's out. Yeah, he's out.
He got injured, so they took the belt off him because he got injured, and then said Luke Campbell's got the green light to fight for the belt, and they haven't got an opponent for him yet.
Yeah.
So it's either going to be Haney or someone else.
Yeah. He's so Haney got injured, like Big Boys Boxing said. So he's like, what do they call it? Champion in recess.
Yeah.
It's the WBC, isn't it?
Yeah.
They have a term for every damn situation. So now Haney is champion in a recess. Champion in a recess. So he's basically going to get the first crack when he's ready. When he says he's ready, he gets the next crack. But for now, the WBC belt is effectively vacant, is it not?
Correct.
Yes. And like Big Boys Boxing says, Luke Campbell will be fighting for it with the opponent yet to be confirmed. TBA, to be announced.
Yeah, the mighty TBA.
The mighty TBA, the unbeaten TBA. So Lopez is a good fighter, but is a cocky that will get spanked in the future. Why do I get the impression you don't like Haney, Lopez? Why do I get the impression you don't like Lopez? Let's see this. Lopez is a good fighter, but still green and has the nerve to be. Okay, I get the message. Yes, champion in recess. Okay, so let us move along. Next topic. I'm going along here. I'm scrolling along. I think I know where I'm going. Oh, yeah, that's where I'm going. Okay, so let me move that so I know we can get to it immediately, and let me share screen. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so Crawford, I'm number one at 147 pounds. I beat the man who beat the man. Okay, so WBO welterweight champion Terrence Crawford hopes
and
to
lineal.
yeah, hopes to secure the other top names in his weight class. On Saturday night at the Madison Square Garden in New York, he dropped and stopped the undefeated mandatory challenger in Kabaluskas. As a matter of fact, before we go any further, maybe we should talk about that fight first before we go into this article. Did you see that fight, James? James?
Oh, sorry. I can find the tab.
Yeah.
No, but I've heard lots on it though. I've heard I've read a few stories on it, but I haven't watched it. I've been a bit out of the game.
Loop, no problem.
Lots of things with that going on, so
Yeah, I hear
I haven't
that.
been able to watch because these American fights are so that like 5 o'clock. Like,
yeah, it's
too hard to watch.
I don't stay up for them. I mean, I didn't intend to stay up for this, but then it was a double header with the UFC. So even though I didn't intend to stay up for either, I found myself staying up for both. So I was flicking backwards and forwards between both cards. It was a damn good night to follow.
UFC card was brilliant.
It was brilliant.
That much, yeah.
It was absolutely brilliant. Did you watch the UFC card?
I've seen most of the fights though on that.
Okay.
Just the other replays.
Well, yeah. You watched it. And so what was I saying? Yeah, I was going back and forth. Yeah, big boys boxing. I take it you watched that fight.
I sure did. That was a hell of an entertaining fight, man.
Hell yeah.
Didn't expect it to be quite that good. I thought Kavaliauskas was going to put up a bit of a fight, maybe last 4, 5, 6 rounds there. But I think he was getting a bit, how would I put it, lost for game plan with how Terrence Crawford was changing it up.
Yeah.
I don't think Kavaliauskas was expecting Crawford to fight most of the fight in southpaw, particularly when he was landing a few right hands on Crawford and he didn't change back to orthodox. He stuck with it.
Yeah.
Many thought that was a little bit strange, but listening to Bo Mack in the corner between rounds, he was saying, yeah, Terrence will change to orthodox when he feels it.
Yeah.
So the coach definitely had a lot of faith in the decision making of Terrence Crawford, and so he should. And it turns out he made the right decision. Once he started pouring on the pressure, getting into a bit of a dogfight, and kind of doing what Floyd Mayweather did to Conor McGregor, sort of thing. Come in with a high guard, take a few shots, fight like a dog. It's not what we see from Terrence Crawford a lot, and it was interesting to see. So he's shown that he can mix it with a fighter who can bang. Kavaliauskas can bang.
Yeah.
In my opinion, he did knock Terrence Crawford down. They didn't call it a knockdown. But to Crawford's credit, he got up, did what he did, got the job done, finished the fight no problem. And it was a good performance. Another mandatory out of the way.
Yes. It was tricky. The knockdown thing. It was kind of tricky. It's like it was a slide down. Because Terrence Crawford clinched. There's a controversy for all those any of those who didn't watch it. There was a controversy. Terrence Crawford ended up on the canvas, and the ref ruled it a slip. And many say it was a knockdown. I can see arguments for both. Terrence Crawford got punched, got tagged, he clipped, he grabbed and slid down the body of Kavaliauskas, and ended up on the canvas. Was it a knockdown or a slip? You, the jury, decide. If I had to pick one, I could say, yeah, I could see it being a knockdown easily.
How I saw it was Kavaliauskas landed that big right hand.
Yeah.
And Terrence Crawford was kind of trying to grab Kavaliauskas to stop himself from falling down. Kavaliauskas was still trying to throw punches.
Yeah, that's right.
So, it wasn't like he held him up. It wasn't like their feet got tangled up together and slipped or anything. It was just the fact that Crawford was leaning forward trying to grab after a big punch, couldn't hold his balance and went down.
Yeah. So, it could perfectly legitimately be called a knockdown. Perfectly legitimately, the ref called it a slip. You, the jury, decide. Okay, so Kavaliauskas put up a hell of a fight, more than anyone was expecting. Terrence Crawford there, it was a dogfight, turned into a dogfight. To me, it turned into a dogfight, but not because Terrence Crawford couldn't have used another strategy anytime. I think Crawford could have said, okay, let's keep this long. Let's use some angles. Let's take the sting out of this guy slowly and gently. let him swing and miss a few times per round, and then catch him on the back end. But Terrence Crawford said no, none of that. I think he must have tasted a nice shot, and he said, "Oh, well, if you want it like that, we can do it like that." And I think Terrence Crawford just said, "Yeah, let's have it. Let's have a scrap. Let's have a brawl. Let's go for it. Let's go. Let's go." And he got into that mode. And I think he just wanted it that way. He just, after, maybe not initially, but after Kavaliauskas showed that he got some serious pop, I think Terrence Crawford wanted to get in there, mix it up, close quarters, bit of a dogfight, hell of a scrap. And it led to a very entertaining fight until, I think, what was that? When did he finish? The 9th round? Was that the 9th round?
I can't remember off the top of my head. Sorry.
It could be the 7th round or the 9th round. I can't quite remember, but either way.
9th round, I think. I've just looked up.
The 9th?
Yeah, it's 9th.
Yeah. Let's say it was the 9th round. People at home, you can go and research that for yourself. I don't have the data right in front of me, although it's probably in this article, and I'll come to it at some point, but I think it was the 9th.
It was the 9th, yeah.
Yeah, it was the 9th
Victorious round. 9th round, yeah.
Victorious 9th round, so it was the 9th round for real. I think it was in the 8th round. Terrence Crawford had him. Yeah, dropped him. That's right. Dropped him. I'm doing this from memory, guys. Dropped him in the 8th. Kavaliauskas just about made it to the bell after he staggered to his feet. And then Terrence Crawford just went to town on him in the 9th round. It was a beautiful fight, highly entertaining. I would watch that fight again. I'll definitely give that fight 2 thumbs up. How many thumbs up, big boys?
Is it out of 5?
So how many thumbs up?
I'd give it a 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So that is a 4 out of 5, and it's a 2 thumbs up from me. Highly entertaining. Let's get into this article. So Crawford's having trouble securing other big names in the division because nearly all of them are promoted by Premier Boxing Champions, PBC. We've talked about them many times on this channel. Many times. Okay, the PBC banner includes boxers such as Manny Pacquiao, Errol Spence, Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, and more. Lipinets, the Ugas. Damn. But Crawford is not buying the talk of come across the street to fight on PBC because he views himself as the best fighter at 147. Of course, I'm the best at 147. When I came into 147, I asked for the top guys at 147. I didn't ask for guys that everybody else thought I was going to beat. I beat the man that beat the man. Whether you like it or not, Jeff Horn beat Manny Pacquiao. I stopped him, Crawford told Complex. When I came into the division, I didn't have a fight in the division, and all the champions said he needed a belt. He didn't even fight in the division right now. Why is everybody rating him so high in the division? He never fought in before. So when I had my first fight in the division, I stopped Jeff Horn. Now everybody's saying he's on the other side of the street. But what happened to get the belt first? So it's not like I'm coming into the division taking on the weakest link. I'm coming into the division saying I want all of y'all right now. I don't need no warm-ups, no tune-ups. And that's what I did. Okay, strange article. Maybe I should read it first. Doesn't go anywhere. But I guess he's saying I beat the man who beat the man. Okay, Pacquiao. Was Pacquiao really the man at welterweight, though? Is Pacquiao the best man at welterweight? Take Terrence Crawford out? I don't know. I mean, you got Spence. I don't know. Who would win in a fight between Spence and Pacquiao? James.
Manny Pacquiao.
Big boys boxing. Hold on. Big boys boxing.
I think as of right now,
not right now. Not after the crash, bro. I mean,
okay. Well, if it was a Pacquiao that fought Horn, I think Spence would win. But if it was a Pacquiao of 6-7 years ago, I think Pacquiao will definitely beat Spence.
Yeah, but we're 7 years down the line. So,
Yeah.
So I guess we are talking now, minus the crash, because we don't know how Spence is going to come back. So I guess we are talking now.
Okay, well, yeah, we'll base it on Spence's last fight sort of form. Yeah. I think the youth would probably still win out. If Pacquiao couldn't get rid of Spence in 6 rounds, maybe it would be a case of getting overwhelmed. Spence is a big dude for a welterweight, remember? And Pacquiao's, he started his career at 122, so he's a midget at 147, but he is very fast. But he's also very old now as well, so there's a lot of things to consider there.
So I don't know. I don't know if Pacquiao is the man, but there is an argument to say he's the man. James, there's an argument to say he's the man at welterweight.
Yep, I think he'd punch him and the cuts would come right open.
The cuts after the crash.
Yeah.
Are we talking? Can we not talk post-crash because we don't know?
I'm talking post-crash, but what I'm saying is,
pre-crash.
Can we not
got to do?
Yeah, can we not talk post-crash? Can we talk pre-crash because we don't know which Spence is coming back?
Talking, then it's just like how far the line do you go? So do you go like Errol Spence 10 fights ago?
No. We're just talking pre-crash, which is just prior.
Pre-crash, right?
Just
Errol Spence, then it. Errol Spence.
You going with Errol Spence?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if Pacquiao is the man. I really don't. Not a welterweight. Not now. Not welterweight.
It was the man then, though. That was the point. The man who beats the man is the lineal champion at the time. Pacquiao was the lineal champion when Horn beat him.
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
That's a fair point. That's a very, very fair point. That is a very, very fair point. So Terrence Spence is the lineal welterweight champion.
Yep. No. Terrence Crawford is.
I mean, yeah. Sorry. Terrence Crawford. That's what I think. I thought I said no, but I said Spence. Terrence Crawford is the lineal welterweight champion.
Yep.
Damn. That's not made. They don't make enough of that. That kind of puts it into perspective. He's the premier guy.
It's funny how the PBC disregard Crawford because he's WBO champion, but they can't disregard lineal champion, but they still don't mention it.
Yeah. That's crazy. He never gets spoken of as lineal champ, but he is.
Mm-hmm.
He beat them. He genuinely did beat the man who did beat the man. So you know what? I've changed my opinion on this matter. I'm now siding with Terrence Crawford. He is the welterweight lineal champ. Damn. Okay, let me head over. To the main window. What we got? Crawford is a great fighter, but he never get the chance to fight Spence. He'll never get a chance to fight Spence. He better not fight Spence that way. He will get KO'd. If he fights Spence that way, I'm inclined to agree. If not get KO'd, he'll get well. If he doesn't get KO'd, he'll look a lot like Spence Porter. I think everybody saw Spence Porter. I think Crawford saw Spence Porter. I don't think Crawford would adopt the same strategy he adopted against Kavalaskis as he would Spence. James, what say you?
I side on. I've lost my train of thought here. I've just sided on. I think Terrence is probably the best, and that's it, really. If he fights Errol Spence, then probably win.
Deals with him. He deals with Spence. Big boys boxing.
I hope we do get to see that fight one day. I hope Errol Spence does come back at some point and hope there's no adverse effects from the crash. But from what I'm hearing, it's looking like Sean Porter and Terrence Crawford are looking at a fight. I also see Bob Arum has stated that him and Al Heyman want to put together more cross promotion fights after the Wilder Fury fight next year. So maybe the gates are opening, so the crossing the road isn't such a big deal.
It's so hazardous.
Yeah. Too many Ferraris going too fast across that road. But I hope we get to see it eventually. I wouldn't mind seeing Crawford take on Porter as well. That's still a good fight. Porter is an elite level welterweight. If you're not really good, you ain't going to get past them. So I think that's probably the biggest test at welterweight that Terrence Crawford would have had if he gets that fight made for next year. Then I'll be looking forward to it.
For sure. Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence. It's all up in the air now. It's all up in the air, much like Spence's Ferrari was when he was backflipping over the median.
A bit like him as well, up in the air.
Oh, we are cracking jokes. We're cracking jokes, but it's only because he's alive. If he'd perished, we wouldn't be so flippant. Get it?
Yeah. Oh, cut it out.
Flippant. Oh my gosh! Please, somebody get me a job in comedy, please. Okay, so what do I think? It's all up in the air. Well, no, let's stop. If it was pre, you see, I'm an Errol Spence fan, more so than Crawford. I'm not an LDBC guy, but there are people who like Errol Spence who aren't LDBC. I like Errol Spence. I mean, he hails from the same island that I do, so there's that connection. Even though he was born in the USA, so that kind of caught my attention. I started watching him more as a result of that, of course. And then of course he fought my other countryman. What's his name? Got Kell Brook. And so, that was 50-50 for me. I was thinking, damn. I think I edged towards Kell Brook, but I did feel he was going to get beat by Spence. But that was a close fight until it wasn't. That was a very close fight until it wasn't just towards the end. It was pretty damn close. Yeah, so Spence v. Crawford. I think Crawford has the technical edge, but Spence, I have tended to like his I like his body shots, to be honest. I like the way he rips those body shots in. He likes to cause damage. I like the fact that he likes to cause damage. I like the fact that he's probably not the biggest one-punch finisher. I don't think he's a one-punch finisher. He's an accumulation guy. But I have historically I have a historical fondness of accumulation guys. Marvin Hagler is probably my second favorite fighter. And that's because of his accumulation. I like the fact that he had to break down his opponents. Okay, he had quick finishes, yeah. He had quick finishes, but still, before the finish, it was a battering. Alan Minter, battering. Tommy Hearns, battering. They were both getting battered, but still, there's a battering process before the finish. I like that. You one-punch KO guys like Wilder, there's no battering process. I love the softening up, the tendering up of the body, and then that kill shot to the head. Love that. More so. So I love the guys who batter the body and then go to the head. I think they probably are amongst my favorite boxers. Yeah, the accumulation. Kill the body and the head will fall. So even though Terrence Crawford is, to me, the better technical boxer, and therefore I would have to give him the edge over Errol Spence. I can't deny I do like the accumulation battery. I do like the accumulation battery before the knockout. I would love to see that fight. Yes, Terrence Crawford would be the favorite. James, you want to say something?
See, I'd like to really see is Canelo. Don't know if he'd ever go back down, but if he'd go back down and fight him.
Go back down to welter?
Yeah. Maybe super welter.
Yeah. Go back down.
Don't know if he'd ever do it, but
Yeah, maybe super welter. Super welter, I could see. Super welter, I could see. Big boys boxing.
Are you talking Crawford versus Canelo? Or
Yeah.
Spence versus Canelo? Oh, okay.
Either, really. Just I'd like to see him fight either one of them two, really.
Yeah, I'd personally rather see Errol Spence v Canelo because they're much more similar in size. Crawford's a little bit smaller and would have a substantial power disadvantage, particularly if he had to go up to 160 to fight Canelo. But I can't see Canelo getting back down to 147 ever again. Maybe 154 if he's lucky. I think he's even scratching to make 160 these days. So
yeah, that's more of a fantasy matchup than a reality.
Yeah, I'd love to see Errol Spence fight Canelo at 168. That'd be good.
So, that'll be hella interesting. Interesting. Okay, so is there anything anybody wants to say before we move into our final topic? Or is that covered? I think that's covered. Okay.
Crickets.
So, yeah. Yeah. So our final topic as we move in to the end of the show. Where are we? Where are we? That's not the one. This is the one. This is the one. Okay. So let me share my screen. Final time tonight. Where are we? We're over there. We're over there. Okay, so Michael Hunter. I've got Tyson Fury's number. I'd stop him. Heavyweight contender Michael Hunter is ready and eager to face the biggest names in the division. Earlier this month, Hunter fought to a 12-round draw with former WBA champion, heavyweight champion Alexander Povetkin in Saudi Arabia. The bout was part of the undercard to the much-anticipated rematch between Anthony Joshua and Andy Ruiz. Hunter was riding a very hot streak since moving up to the biggest division in the sport. Despite the draw, he still has big goals for 2020. Okay, if Hunter has his wish, he would face the undefeated former unified champion Tyson Fury. According to Hunter, he nearly put Fury away when they collided in the amateurs. Hunter felt robbed by the judges in that fight. He's confident in his ability to finish Fury off in the pros. If I could choose to fight any of the top guys, it would be Fury. I've already been in the ring with him as an amateur. I had to fight him, and I fought very well. He was out on his feet, but the judges gave him the victory. But I definitely did a lot more damage. We were supposed to fight again, but he supposedly got injured. I would have to fight him. But what? I would love to fight him. I would absolutely if I had to fight him, I would be absolutely comfortable doing so. I've got his number. I would stop him. Hunter is promoted by Eddie Hearn, who also handles WBO, IBF, WBA, and IBO heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua. There was mutual respect after our fights. We saw each other before a few times, but didn't say anything to each other. After that, we found respect, Hunter said. I would love to fight AJ. He showed me a lot in his last fight because there was a lot of pressure on him, which I can only imagine. He did what he was supposed to do, which tells me that he has grown. That inspires me to fight him. He will continue to do exceptionally well in his career. I don't think he should fight me. He can't beat me at that game. The law is to fight the boxers and box the fighters. One is the boxer and one is the fighter. I would be the boxer. Okay, that's almost Wilder-esque. I don't think he would fight me with the style that he used to beat Ruiz. He can't beat me at that game. The law is to fight the boxers and box the fighters. One is the boxer, one is the fighter. I would be the boxer. Oh, so he's saying that Joshua would have to fight him and not box like he did Ruiz. Do I agree with that? Do I agree with that? Joshua couldn't box me. He would have to fight me because I'm the boxer. So he would have to be the fighter. Don't box the boxer. He's saying he's the better boxer. James, is Michael Hunter the better boxer betwixt the two?
He's the better boxer when it comes to smaller people, but a bit when a height advantage and it comes into place, then you got to give it to the taller man usually.
Yeah. I don't know. We're talking about Joshua now. I don't know if he's gonna outbox Joshua. In fact, I'll say no. On the strength of Joshua's last fight, I say no. James.
So you've already basically seen that fight because Michael Hunter and Povetkin are very similar fighters.
Yeah.
And you saw how that one went.
Yeah, doesn't prove anything guaranteed, but it shows tendencies.
Yeah.
Shows tendencies.
Exactly.
Big boys boxing. Is Hunter the better boxer betwixt he and Joshua?
Yeah, I think James kind of hit the nail on the head. Then he can be the better boxer against somebody who's a similar size than him.
Yeah.
But I can't see him outboxing Joshua after that performance that Joshua put out last time. I think the only chance Hunter would have of beating Joshua would be him being the fighter.
Yeah.
He's got a lot quicker feet than Andy Ruiz.
Yeah.
His hands aren't as fast, but he's just as technical when he gets inside. He moves his head a lot better. He's got a lot more that Andy Ruiz doesn't have when it comes to footwork and movement. But it kind of evens out because he hasn't got that blistering hand speed. So could he do the damage to Joshua if he got inside? Possibly not. So, yeah. And as for him talking about he would beat Fury, I think he's kidding himself there, man. A 6'3" fighter trying to get inside on somebody with a good jab who's 6'9" and good feet. Not going to happen, man. He fought Joshua in the amateurs. He fought Tyson in the amateurs, didn't he?
Yeah, that's right, Tyson.
And did okay, but that was the amateurs. Tyson's come a long way since then. It's been a long time too. So, it's pretty laughable coming from Hunter. And I respect Hunter at the same time. I think he's a much better fighter than what he did in the ring against Povetkin a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
If they rematched, I think Hunter would win that fight. But I don't think he's that much better than Povetkin.
Who did you have winning that fight?
I actually had Hunter winning that 116-112, but I wouldn't argue with the draw because there was so many swing rounds there. Hunter didn't pour it on as much as he usually does, so it was really hard to score some of those rounds.
Yeah, it was difficult. I had Hunter winning by 1 round.
Yeah, 115-130. Well, you had a draw round in there, did you?
Yes, I believe I did. I tried to stay away from draw rounds as much as possible, but I think there was a round that I just couldn't split.
Yeah. 114, 113.
Yeah. So I had Hunter winning by 1 round, 1 solitary round. James, did you watch that fight? Did you score that fight?
Yeah, I was watching it, but to be honest, I wasn't scoring it at all.
No.
I was just sitting back, talking and watching the fight. Really.
Yeah. So did you have a winner? Did you have a winner in that fight, or was it a draw for you too?
I was seeing one fighter punching, the other fighter punching, and at the end, I was just like, I couldn't really split it. Really.
So it's a draw.
Yeah, I was happy with that.
Very, very. Yeah, I wasn't mad at that. When I only had the one guy winning by 1 round, they call it a draw, which I didn't expect. But yeah, couldn't complain about that whatsoever. And so that comes to the end of the boxing talk. Just gonna tack on a little bit of UFC talk. So you saw the fight, James. You saw what's his name? The main
Kamara. What's his
Yeah.
face? Yeah.
what's his face?
Kamara.
Kamara
Is it Usman?
Usman.
Is it Usman? Is it Kamara Usman?
I'm gonna call him Usman. I'm
Usman.
gonna call him
Yeah, it
Usman.
is Kamara Usman.
Yeah, I'm gonna call him
Nigerian.
Usman. Yeah, the Nigerian fella. Kamara Usman on the main card. I think he's a welterweight, the welterweight championship for the UFC. Kamara Usman versus Cody. I should really bring this up because I can't even remember.
Covington, wasn't it?
What's his name?
Was it Covington?
Covington. Yeah. Cody Covington. And Cody Covington is a controversial fella because he's a wears that red Trump hat, make America great again. So there are certain implications when you're wearing that make America great again red Trump hat about your political leanings. And so, I mean, it could be true. I mean, he could really feel that way, or it could be an act. Either way, he's entitled
It's an act.
Well, yeah, it's an act.
Yeah.
But even if it were true, he's entitled to feel or vote. You know, it's a legal voting process over there. You can legally vote for Trump. It's not against the law.
He's not as bad as everyone says that Trump, but
yeah. Well, no,
yeah,
I mean, I'm not
much,
casting any stones.
Yeah.
I'm not casting any stones because I mean, ultimately, he's American. He's got to do what he believes is best for America. I'm UK. You know, I live in the UK. So obviously, America's America, and he's got to do what he believes is best for America. He's voted in by the American voters. So, you know, everything's legal. It's legal. But anyway, Covey, whatever you said his name was, Covington, was just a big mouth at one stage, but he came up and up and up and up and up. And then I think he beat Robbie Lawler in his last fight. And Robbie Lawler is highly respected ex-champion himself in multiple organizations. Started in the UFC way back in the day, maybe 10 years ago. Moved around different organizations and became a champ. People thought he was finished when he left the UFC, but no, he came back and became champ again. Oh, he was never champ the first time around, sorry. But anyway, so when Kobe Covington and people thought it was just a big mouth beat Robbie Lawler, everybody had to sit up and take notice. Now, on Saturday night, he went up against Kamara Usman. And Kamara Usman, of course, just beat Tyrone Woodley to get the welterweight championship from him. Tyrone Woodley had the belt for a good couple of years, was an established champ, and
the guy from Liverpool, what's his face? The English bloke, didn't he?
Oh yeah.
Oh, what's his name again?
Darren Till.
Darren Till, that's the one.
Darren Till. So Usman beat Till, yeah? That's welterweight.
No. Tyron Woodley beat Till.
Tyron Woodley beat Till.
Yeah.
And then Usman beat Tyrone Woodley. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and then Till lost to Masvidal.
After
that.
Yeah, that's right. Till lost to Jorge Masvidal. Okay, so Usman versus Covington. Covington, better than people thought he was a real threat, considered a real threat, and the fight was tight all the way through for the UFC welterweight belt. But eventually, it was neck and neck. But eventually, Kamara Usman, the Nigerian American, dropped Covington in the last round, and then with the right to the jaw, and then dropped him again, I believe. Similar punch. And was crowned. Well, not crowned because it was his crown. He maintained. He held on to his crown. His welterweight champion crown. But that was a damn close fight, James.
I think it's a UFC classic, really. You know, two men.
Yeah.
Bashing the absolute living daylights out of each other.
Absolutely.
Throwing a few kicks from the other guy, Covington.
Yeah, Covington.
Yeah, because I don't know if you know, but even Kamara said I think his knees are like pretty much done, you know, because all the UFC guys do so much wrestling and it really messes up their knees.
It does.
So that's the problem with Kamara Usman. So if he fought someone like proper ground game person, that's where you might see Usman fall.
Yes.
But a stand up fight like that, you always had him to win against Covington, really.
Yeah. It was It was a damn good scrap big boys boxing. I don't know if you caught any of that.
Nah, man. Don't watch much UFC. Sorry.
No, it's all right. We're just finishing off the show, but had to touch on that. And how rude of me. Let me share a picture. Let me share my screen in general. Got too many damn windows open. Let me share the screen. We're coming to an end. We've got to share. Got to show you some of the pictures of that one because it was a UFC classic. I think we're sharing now. That's Usman on the right over here, and Covington on the left. It looks pretty busted up there, but it was a neck and neck fight. It was neck and neck at the time. Damn, Covey. He's just looking at himself amazed. He said, damn, I look older than the guy standing next to me. What's going on here? What's going on here? It was a heck of a fight. Usman v. Covington, neck and neck all the way. Neck and neck all the way, but Usman here on the left, the Nigerian American.
See, I did have Usman win it before that, though. I thought he edged a couple rounds.
Oh yeah. I think he was edging it. But having said that, there was controversy. Thank you for bringing it up. There was controversy because one judge had Covington winning every round.
Oh, that's just classic judging, really.
Yeah.
There's always a judge for that, isn't there?
That was crazy.
It must have been the same judge who did Tyson Fury and Wilder.
What are you saying? So you reckon that there was a judge? Oh yeah, was there a judge who did that
in Wilder? Tyson Fury. I think there was there must have been a judge, isn't it?
A crazy judge.
They had one Wilder up, didn't they? That's become a draw because I think it was one had one up, and then it was the other one had as a tie.
Yeah, I'm the wrong guy to talk about that fight though because I feel that Tyson Fury got knocked out.
Really?
Yeah, with the last count.
Well, you thought the referee had a slow count?
Well, it's not even a slow count. I think that 99.9% of referees would have just waved that off without counting.
Yeah, but apparently Tyson Fury he smiled or whatever. So he
smiled.
Yeah, that's what they say. He smiled at the referee to make sure.
Maximum drama acting, you reckon?
Maximum drama acting. We got up quickly, so he must have been doing something. He didn't look out though. That was a rise from the rise from the below, whatever. Heavens.
The
depths of hell.
The depths of hell. The depths of hell.
That's the one.
I think we'll agree on that. Okay, so that brings us to the end of boxing talk with Rafi. Let me find my screen. I think I got 30 windows open. This ain't right. This ain't right. It ain't supposed to be this way. Where are we? Not on the screen. Hunter. Okay, just having a look at what's this going on. What's good, my peoples? Marcus Lauer in the building. Mark my words. I love when people say mark my words. It means that it will happen when it most likely won't. That's hilarious. The judge, I think it was a judge from PR, 115, 113. Fury was a champion. Jack did the right thing and allowed him to get up. Many videos proves Fury was up before the... Yeah, I'm not talking about the digital count to 10. I'm saying that most refs would have just waved that fight off when they saw Fury apparently...
Because it's such a scale, though. Maybe the ref thought, let it go. Let's see what happens, you know.
Because,
it's such a big fight. You see a lot of it with the smaller fights. They just call it straight off, you know, because a lot of things is like, maybe that's the first knockdown.
Yeah.
Some referees sometimes even call stuff like that off, don't they?
Yeah.
When it's such a big fight, like AJ Ruiz, I personally thought AJ should have been that fight should have been called off for like the third knockdown. That was getting silly. It was like an elevator. He was up and down, up and down.
I wouldn't be mad at that at all. Called off, because he was up and down. But I still maintain that 99% of judges, in my mind, would have called that Tyson Fury Wilder fight off when it looked like Fury was in a coma.
I agree. The judge who scored at 115, 111 is Alejandro Rochin.
Alejandra
Keep your ears out for that name then.
Alejandra Rochin, 115, 111. Was that his score?
Yeah.
Okay. And of course, talking about Wilder versus Fury. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not mad that the ref let him up. What I'm saying is that I believe 99% of judges would have waved it off. So when people say Wilder lost the fight, I say, well, yeah, you could say that, but to me, I think we could say he won as well. So it's 50-50. It's 50.
Yeah, but if you're going off by the actual, like what you saw though,
yeah,
and if you take into just what you saw in general, so you've seen every single round, you go out afterwards, and then you're going to tally up yourself. You've definitely had Tyson Fury win that fight. He won every round pretty much, bar from the couple he got knocked down.
Well, to me, a lot of when I see Tyson Fury in action, a lot of the stuff that he throws, he throws as many feints as he does punches.
That's not more.
Yeah, I think it's a perception of winning, and the reality is, I think there's a difference between perception and reality. I don't think he landed half as many punches as you probably think he landed.
Probably, but you don't really see Wilder throwing much at all, really, but because that's the complete opposite of what the Wilder is. So
yeah. But I think
Wilder's accuracy in that fight was considerably better than Tyson Fury, because a lot of the punches Tyson Fury threw were fakes. They weren't even meant to land.
Yeah.
So you could score it either way, depending if you've got any kind of bias. You can't help but score it in favor of the guy that you like. Yeah.
100. It's like boom, it's 50-50 to me. I mean, it should have been stopped. It wasn't stopped. Went to the card, went to draw, boom. Whatever it is whatever it is, man. Whatever.
There's 4 criteria for scoring as well, but it's not just punches landed. You get scored for defense, you get scored for ring generalship, effective aggression, not just punches landed. So some people put more emphasis on 2 of the criteria than the other 2. So it comes down to the judges you get on the day.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. And so it's Boxing Talk with Rafi. It's been nice and concise, I feel. Boxing Talk with Rafi 77.
Cool, getting up there now. Nearly to 100.
Yeah, but I think I've gone to 100. I keep on saying every week I'm going to check to see if I've done 100 lives, because some of the lives, live fight shows, some of the lives, weekend edition. I had a weekend edition that I did for a while, and those aren't included in these numbers. So I think I'm pretty damn sure that I must be at 100 by now. 77, that means 20 X1s. I'm pretty damn sure it's 100 by now, or around 100, 97, 103. I wanted to be able to bang on, say this is the 100th show, but because I haven't tallied, I will tally for the Wednesday show and let you know exactly what number it is. I hope I haven't missed 100. I hope by chance Wednesday is the 100th edition of Boxing Talk with Rafi. We chopped up a number of things. James giggling in the background. Chopped up of things.
That shows commitment. He's on 100.
Hey, that's a commitment, bro. That's commitment.
So more commitment I'll never do to anything in my life.
Oh man. Well, yeah. I mean, I like I like doing this because it shows there's a body of work there. There's a body of work there. It's not the channel is the channel.
I think your channel's brilliant, to be honest.
Oh,
definitely compared to the other, because you go in other ones like BFTB bloke, mate. Oh, you get ripped apart if you have any kind of different kind of opinion to what the host has,
Yeah, and I don't believe in that. It was always supposed to be about boxing discussion, boxing talk, opinions. I'm not the type of person who doesn't want to hear other opinions. I want to hear other opinions. I mean, you need to hear other opinions.
100%.
If you're painting a picture, you don't just use one color. Opinions are like colors. You want a whole array of colors on your, what do you call that thing that you hold, the painters hold, that board?
The round board.
Easel.
Your easel. You want an array of colors on your easel, and Every opinion, I treat an opinion like a color. That's another one to dab in there. That's another one to dab in there. Thank you for the compliment about the channel. We're only about 10 months old, I reckon. Gonna have to check that too. About 10 months old. And yeah, I'm very happy. I'm very happy with what I've been able to build with the assistance of others. Unless it's a black and white picture. Good point. You only need 2 colors. And apparently black or white isn't a color, so you need 0 colors. Damn. Head explodes, truth being told. Yeah, I'm very happy with it, with the assistance and the help of others, and of course the people who come into Boxing Talk with Rafi, people who go and watch the videos, people who just enjoy Boxing Talk.
Even the haters. It all helps.
They're welcome. The hate.
Yeah.
Oh, welcome.
Well, that's how the other channels thrive, isn't it? You get the hate going, and
yeah,
it's all publicity, isn't it?
Oh, you get the hate going. You get the hate going, then it's awesome, man. You know, you get the hate going, it gets things cooking. Gets things cooking. And so we've come to the end of another edition of Boxing Talk with Rafi, where we talked about why Fury left Davison. We talked about Wilder meeting the Pope. We talked about Crawford. We talked about Lopez. We talked about Hunter. We talked about all sorts boxing. I threw in a little bit of MMA, which I was not prepared for. I thought about it, but didn't really have anything prepped for it. But we still chopped up the main event.
So maybe you should get another segment going.
Well, you know what?
MMA talk with Rafi.
You know what it is? That is all. There's many segments that I can think of, but I'm just taking it one step at a time. I do cover MMA, but I think you definitely need another segment. MMA talk with Rafi, no doubt. I think I'm going to start that. No joke. So we chopped up a lot of subjects, and fortunate enough to have 2 great guests in the form of James. James, your final word on anything, James.
Yeah, it's good talk. Nice being it, and have a good one.
Excellent. Do you have a channel, James?
Nah,
James.
I don't get any time really to. I would come on here more, but I've got a few things going on and whatever. So
got a few things going on. Got a couple of women on the go. You know how it
exactly.
is.
A couple dozen of them, and then that's all your time.
A couple dozen of them, and it costs a lot of money to keep them inside out.
Yeah.
So
there we go.
Part-time job. He's got a paper round as well. Big Boys Boxing.
I had one of them. Oh, that killed me. I'll tell you that much. That paper round. Not too long ago. God, that's the worst thing I've ever done in my life. Never again. Never again.
Yeah, dogs chasing me on my bike. You know, I have a brick in
there was a bloody. I got the worst paper round. It was all hills.
Damn.
50% gradients.
Damn.
Good conditioning.
Good conditioning. Tyson Fury. Yeah. Tyson Fury, you got your new conditioning coach here. Now you've lost Ben Davison.
I go in there.
Big Boys Boxing, your final words. Thanks for having you on the show, by the way.
I appreciate you having me on. Always a pleasure. If everybody hasn't already, make sure you subscribe to Rafi's channel so you don't miss anything in the future. And I'm sure I'll be around to catch you all next time. Peace.
Yes. Indeed. Peace from James and Big Boys Boxing. Come to the end of the show, and now all that's left for me to do is a final roll call. Call out some of the people who are still in here. It's Marcus Lauer. It's Wild Soul 88. It's the Big Boys Boxing. It's the James. It's the AOBZ. It's the Anthony Gavin. It is the Tanaris Robinson, the LDBC representative. Haven't heard nothing from Don ZB since AJ made it two-time. Don ZB has been MIA. Don ZB, we need to come back. You need to come back and repent. You need to come back and repent. You need to beg for forgiveness for being a non-believer. King Panther. What? King Black Panther 9000. Who else? We had the ringside reporter. We had Beeb up in the building. We had the Rendell Stevenson. And of course, you know, the Brooklyn Child had to stop on by. Likewise, the Robin Guerrero, the Vincent Grant, the Mickey Dub, the Joe 56984, the Cal L. And who else do we have? The AD, who joined us earlier on. Much appreciated, and the post of Big Boys Boxing. He's got his own channel. Go check him out. Who else did we have? The AD, the MB, the Rendell Stevenson. Yes, 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 and that's it. That was a full cast of characters. I trust that everybody has smashed the like button. Yeah, that's good. That's good numbers. That's good numbers. And so that brings us to the end of Boxing Talk with Rafi 77. I need to check. I don't want to go past 100 without commemorating the moment. The moment when we arrived at 100. But I've got a funny feeling we've already passed it. But I'm going to do a check. I want to know for next time. It's the Boxing Talk with Rafi. It's the like, it's the subscribe, it's the comment, it's the shares. And it is the hitting that bell icon to stay updated with news and notifications. Okay, and for sure, follow me on Twitter. It's Boxing Talk with Rafi, 10 p.m. Monday and Wednesdays, UK time. And what's left for me to say is peace. Blessed.